Listen, y'all get in here now. New motion filed to the earlier motion. This is the second motion in the Little Durk case. Now, Little Durk connected to multiple unalivings, emergency meeting to jurors to impanel an anonymous jury by the judge. This is what we're looking into. Salute to everybody. Let's get into the building. I want everybody dropping a like. I want everybody hitting the poll and making sure y'all hitting notified on all. As y'all join, you already know the vibes. We here rocking out.
All my niggas from the Rders, all my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn rats, all my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat, you been thugging on computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters, all my niggas from the Rders. Welcome to the Rders, all my niggas from the Rders, all my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn rats, all my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been a threat, you been thugging on computer. Show me the proof. All my niggas turn shooters, all my niggas from the Rders. Welcome to the Rders.
Salute to everybody, though, man. Salute to everybody. Salute to Ash. Appreciate you, Queen. This is the new motion, man. They're trying to link Durk to multiple unalivings, and this is what's happening now. All right. This is another document that we have to read and just go through real quick. We read one earlier motion earlier today. Shout out to you if you was there and you watched that stream. You could just go check the live that was done there earlier. I was gonna make this an upload, but I said let me just get it live and just do that. You know what I mean? Some people don't want to do reading live because they are not confident in their reading. You know what I'm saying? I came from selling work and all the things that I wouldn't tell my son to do. But I learned how to read and I taught myself. So I'm not going to make an AI program read it for me. And I'm not going to do a damn record. I'm going to read it live. So I'm thinking on earth. Uda, on go. Salute to everybody. Let's get to this. Durk, though. You already know the vibes. Shout out Drobo. You already know the vibes. You know what I mean? Appreciate you, man. Yeah, my peoples that made that shit said some dope shit. Appreciate you. Let's get to this work, though. Hold up. Let's bring it here first so we can see exactly what we see on the big screen. And then we'll, you know what I mean, move around the cameras or do whatever else. So let's just see what the hell we got going on here. We're going to have to get through some table of contents as well. As you can see, the government's motion to impanel an anonymous jury declaration of Jaron Farmby and attached exhibits. Okay, now plaintiff, United States of America, by and through its counsel of record, the acting United States attorney for the Central District of California and assistant United States attorneys, Ian, they say their names, and let's get past all the fluff. All right, cool. You're going to go through this motion, table of contents, right? Exactly. Be used to these paperworks. I mean, you'd have thought you was fluffed up. Look, tables. Exactly. Tables. We're not dumb. Exactly. Now let's get to the memorandums of points and authorities in the introduction. This case involves a well-funded and organized attempt to unalive one of the defendant, Durk Banks' rival, at a busy gas station in Los Angeles. In broad daylight, 3 Rders opened fire, including with a machine gun, missing their intended target, but unaliving SR. The government will, kind of around his cousin, the government will prove at trial that all 7 co-conspirators were affiliated with the defendant bank's organization, only the family. 5 were OTF members and 2 were recruited by the defendant Wilson and promised a handsome reward to help unalive their target. To ensure a fair trial, prevent improper attempts to influence jurors, and to otherwise protect the judicial process, the government requests that the court order to impanelment of an anonymous jury all factors the court must consider weigh heavily in favor of juror anonymity in this case. First, the unaliving in this case was not an isolated act of violence committed by OTF or its members. In recent years, OTF members and its associates have committed other brazen unalivings, assaults, and violent crimes. Second, this court has already emphasized, defendant Banks, the leader of OTF, uses his money, influence, and power to endanger individuals whom he perceives as a threat. Now, defendant's vast resources, coupled with the expansive reach and violent nature of OTF, further justify additional safeguards to keep the jury free from intimidation or harassment. This is what this is about, okay? They think that this is crazy that they're pushing this right now, too, as well. On the back of Durk filing a motion to get this all thrown out and to get separated from the murder for hire, they came back with this to say, look, now These people's threats and all that is crazy. It's crazy. It's a cat and mouse game when you're in that court. If you're young, stay out of that court. Stay out of that system. If you in the streets, get yourself out the streets if you could. If you could do something else positive, do that, young man. If you old man doing it, do that too, bro. Straight. So don't you think you gonna get away with murders forever? Stop, bro. Who the hell you think you is, man? Who you think you is, man? Charles Bronson? Leave it be. Anyway. Indeed, the defendant's supporters have already threatened the government officials to free Durk. Wow. They brought the supporters in. That's nasty, bro. That's nasty. Supporters? That's regular people like you and me, probably. That's nasty. Or face retribution. Crazy. The jury must be protected from similar misconduct. You see how the jury, the prosecution be pushing? They smart when they do their thing. Additionally, from its inception, this unaliving case has garnered an extreme amount of media attention that will increase as trial approaches. This case is therefore the precise circumstance where heightened measures are needed to secure the jury's safety and safeguard its fact-finding mission from improper influences, which is true. If it is going to go to trial, you would want the jury to be safe. But how they throwing it and spinning it like they some real detriment to the... Like, ain't nobody trying to hurt that jury, bro. Ain't nobody. Come on, bro. Keep it real with me.
No, you can't be serious. That is some bullshit right there.
Come on, bro. Ain't nobody trying to hurt that dude. Come on, bro. Stop, son. If you really a Durk supporter, you want him free, bro. You don't want to go out there and do no dumb shit. Like, stop, bro. What you think we doing? Stop it, homie. Anyway, identify can be ascertained without compromising the scope of information necessary for fair and fulsome vorda. How the fuck you say this word again, man? This guy told me. Vorda. I forgot, man. He told me vorda. It's not dear. Voir dire. I think it's voir dire. That's what I think it is. Voir dire. All right, cool. Specifically, the government requests that the means, addresses, and specific place of employment not be revealed the public or the revealed to, might be two right here, to the public or the parties, including counsel, to ensure all parties can meaningfully engage in voir dire. The government has agreed to work with the defense to propose a thorough juror questionnaire. Thus, both the government and the defendant will have ample information from which to make meaningful decisions and challenge during the voir dire process. Now, legal background. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. Hold on, let me just check on the status of this chat. Let me just check on the status of where we at. My bad. Let me get myself on screens. I'm reading it like this. Y'all mad? Some of these pretty women want to see me because they wanted me to saddle them up since the trial, and I ain't did it. My ass would have been in a freako. I'm not stupid. Hold on. So let me get to this work. Okay, cool. Thank you. You know, I don't care. Hold up, y'all. Cool. Let me do it like that. Cool. So y'all can really see it. Exactly. All right. But when I chop it all up, I don't want to just have it all like that. Then when I chop it, they don't have me on the screen. So I have to mix it up. All right, cool. So when I edit different clips, I could get different looks out the clips. All right, cool. All right. The Sixth Amendment guarantees the right to a fair trial by an impartial jury. Critical safeguard for an impartial jury is the protection of the jury against improper influence from outside parties. They cite some cases. In addition to shielding jurors from improper influence, a trial court is also charged with the grave responsibility of guarding the safety of the jury and is granted wide discretion to adopt appropriate security measures to meet that responsibility, including by impaneling an anonymous jury. One security, damn, so that means that nobody gonna know nothing about the jury members. Nothing. Period. Point blank. Great. What that mean? We don't get to see him in court? Yo, listen, man. If you in Cali, pop out the Durk shit, bro. If I get a chance to pop out, I'm bouncing out of my homie Durk, nigga. Straight, nigga. Free my dog. But if you get a chance to pop out of my cousin Durk, tell him I said free him. All right, good. All right. Courts employ, let let me see the last word. One security measure courts employ to ensure this right is the impanelment of an anonymous jury, where the court keeps confidential certain biographical information about the jurors, either from public or the parties, or both. This circuit employs a two-part test to determine whether the impanelment of an anonymous jury is appropriate, where one, there is a strong reason for concluding that it is necessary to enable the jury to perform its fact-finding function or to ensure juror protection. And two, reasonable safeguards are adopted by the trial court to minimize any risk of infringement upon the fundamental rights of the accused. They cite something else. A, an impanelment of an anonymous jury. That's why I want to know about this. You know, never really heard how they put this. Okay, a court may impanel an anonymous jury where the interests of the justice so require. 28 U.S.C. 1863 B7. This standard contemplates a peculiarity. Let me leave this right alone, bro. Let me just leave it. It's just getting me tongue twisted for some reason. It's just peculiar. It's just peculiarly. Shit, man. Peculiarly context specific inquiry. In determining whether the standard is met, court considers the following non-exhaustive factors. One, the defendant's involvement with organized crime. Two, the defendant's participation in a group with the capacity to harm jurors. It's crazy that they're saying that these people are going to harm jurors, bro. It's nasty work, bro. These people is not doing nothing to these jurors, bro. What are you talking about? These jurors is these people life sake. People can free them or send them. What are you talking about, bro? You don't want to hurt these people. You want these people to say, no, you ain't do this. That's what you want. The defendant's past attempts to interfere with the judicial process or witnesses for the potential that the defendant will suffer a lengthy incarceration if convicted, and 5, extensive publicity that could enhance the possibility that jurors' names would become public and expose them to intimidation and harassment. That's a true thing. These factors, however, are neither exclusive or dispositive. And the court should consider the totality of the circumstances in deciding whether the jury requires protection. Although these factors are neither exclusive or dispositive, the court has recognized the need for jury protection based on a combination of factors. I want everybody dropping a like and everybody hitting a poll if you're here. I don't care who's here. I don't care how many people are here. I cannot see it because I'm not looking at that screen right now. I'm looking at this. Okay, but just do what you got to do. And don't tell me nothing about Diddy. And don't tell me nothing about no goddamn Dr. Umar Johnson. Make sure you doing what you need to do, homie. And if you ain't doing nothing for free, you goddamn ain't doing nothing for me. Let's keep it a stack, homie. Let's keep it a stack. Okay, cool. All right. So applying this fact-specific analysis, court in this district and elsewhere have ordered juror anonymity in cases like this that involve violent groups and or gangs. You fall under that. That's crazy. Cases involving the Mexican, I ain't gonna say schmafias. Leave them people be. I ain't trying to end up on a shirt. Case involving 8 trays. You know, I ain't 8 tray Hoover gangs. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I got a problem with one of your 8 trays, man. The nigga Young and Hefe, bro. What happened, man? Nigga try to steal my slogan off my channel, man. What happened, bro? What happened, bro? And then he tried to get at my girl BJ. Investigates, man. What happened, bro? We gonna jump his big ass online. Leave it be. Leave it be. Oh, shout out to the 8 trays, but y'all don't get in this big. He big enough, man, to handle his own damn business. So leave it be, 8 tray Hoovers. All right, cool. Nah, he ain't 8 tray Hoover. He's just 8 tray Crip. So significant media attention. Case involving former sheriff who led conspiracies to obstruct justice and impede federal investigations. And 3, that the defendant or those acting on their behalf will interfere in the judicial process, noting that many courts have found it prudent to impanel an anonymous jury where there were allegations of witness tampering. Okay. Reasonable safeguards to minimize any prejudice. Okay, when a court orders an anonymous jury, it must take the steps to minimize any prejudice resulting from the risk that jurors may that jurors may infer that the dangerousness of those on trial required their anonymity, thereby implicating defendant's Fifth Amendment right to presumption of innocence. Cleaned up. Now, to minimize this risk, a court must adopt reasonable safeguards, such as telling the jury that the reason for their anonymity is to protect their privacy, or that anonymity is common in federal court. In this circuit, the generally accepted practice for minimizing prejudice is to downplay, not accentuate, the significance of the juror anonymity procedure. Now, courts therefore satisfy this requirement by, for example, providing neutral justifications for the jury anonymity, focus on juror confidentiality. District court did not instruct the juror on the reasons for their anonymity, but simply informed them that they would be referred to by number rather than by name. They was doing that in a case I saw, right? But they did have witness anonymity in this, you know what I mean? But juror anonymity, just like juror number one. I've seen that in the case. Juror number two, juror number three. I've seen that in a big case before. Can't remember this case. All right. By name. Okay. And questionnaire potential jurors completed stated the information would be kept confidential and that neither your identities or your answers will be released to the general public or to the media. District court appropriately suggested that such anonymizing procedures are routine. Now, courts can also sufficiently safeguard defense counsel's ability to conduct voir dire, right? It's voir dire. By providing a thorough questionnaire to potential jurors, detailing each potential juror's age, marital status, city of residence, employment history, and education, among other things. As explained below, the government has agreed to collaborate with the defense to propose a questionnaire to ensure the meaningful voir dire of potential jurors. An anonymous jury is appropriate and necessary to protect the jury's fact-finding function and protect the jury's safety. Each of the non-exhaustive factors outlined by the Ninth Circuit compelled preserving juror confidentiality by impaneling an anonymous jury in this case. Now, the defendant's connection to organized criminality and payments for violence. Now, the first and second factors, the defendant's involvement with organized crime and the group's capacity to harm jurors, strongly weigh in favor of juror protection and anonymity. As alleged in the second superseding indictment, the SSI, defendant Banks is the leader of only the family, or OTF. SSI at introductory allegations. While OTF is in part a rap group, several of its members and associates have a history of extreme violence, including unalivings. For example, in 2024, 6 members of Old Block Street Gang, including OTF associate Marcus Smart, aka Muwap, were convicted of racketeering offenses that included the unaliving of Chicago rapper Carlton Weekly, aka FBG Duck. Federal, and they entered in that case, and in this case, it's a lot. Federal unaliving for hire charges are also currently pending against 2 defendants who are allegedly motivated to unalive by OTF-linked payments. These unalivings and the other violent crimes committed by the defendants and the other prominent OTF members show the compelling need for an anonymous jury in this case due to the strong link between OTF and organized violence. Considering, among other things, defendant violent criminal history in use of affirming anonymous jury, and they went to another case. Impaneling an anonymous jury where the defendants committed robbery and unalivings as a member of a violent street gangs whose members and associates and are suspected of multiple unalivings and UINs, as well as other violent crimes, including but not limited to unaliving, robbery, bank robbery, burglary, drug trafficking, and magneto possession, metal. Boom. Just like the head of a typical street gang, defendant Banks exerts considerable influence over his associates while attempting to insulate himself from their street level criminality. A seized audio message between two OTF associates demonstrate this hierarchy. In the message, a prominent OTF associate explains that when people call Banks, Durk, for money, he gives out 500, 600,000 to the streets, including funding his conspirators, the sliders, slang for stolen cars used to commit crimes. An attached audio clip. That's what they're showing. This is the attached audio clip that they just was talking about, explaining that probably. Are they going to explain it? Nope. Okay. Citing the describing audio clip. They just cited what was in the audio clip right here. Okay, cool. That's crazy. 500 and 600 grand to the streets. Don't sound good, homie. Don't sound deep. Don't sound good right there. Free money, get Durk though. The associates describe how bank controls and influence their operations. That bank wants to know who in charge of what first. That's how he wants it done. He wants it done right. He wants people to get sliders and stuff like that for sure, but he wants people to know what's going on so it can be real structured situation, blood, not no more little boy shit. What kind of shit y'all talking on the phone, bro? Oh, bro, son. What happened to the omerta, homie? You know what omerta is? Son, it's the code of silence, bro. What happened to that? This is nasty work, bro. Shout out to all my people in the chat. King Rooster, Gangland. They don't like my people in the chat, man. You already know the vibe. Lord, salute. Yo, bro, is y'all ever gonna stop talking, bro? Audio, you know. They talking about Didi about to roll on. Didi lawyer separated the case from Durk and shit like that. Like, I don't think Didi gonna do Durk dirty, man. Don't believe the hype on that one. If we see some actual proof on that and some actual facts, then we'll do that. But until then, we can't just drag that. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot, bro. I don't think Didi flip on Durk, man. That's a lot to flip on Durk, bro. Straight. Anyway, they said he further details how the defendant bank's money comes with a price, that this shit is going to get done right, where people gonna get blamed for their own F-ups. That structure explains why defendant banks warned an OTF associate as the associate purchased flights for the conspirators to travel to Southern California to commit the unaliving at issue in this case. Don't book no flights under no names involved with me. I could be saying that because y'all is hot and y'all be doing some hot shit, bro. Y'all my friends, bro. But what the hell, right? I don't got to be telling y'all to go commit something, bro. Y'all be wilding. So just in case y'all is wilding, don't book no flights with my name in it, bro. Right? It could have been that, bro. It could have been that. We all love King Vaughn, so we're going to say slip and slide if you got the slip and slide, homie. We get it. But I'm just saying, though, can not Durk be saying that? You got some homeboys, bro. You like, yo, bro, son, going out there starting to, yo, bro, don't be calling my name. You know what I mean? Let's say you the gangsta out your homies and all that, but they going out, they kind of chump. They going out here getting slapped and wrong. They calling your name and everything. Yo, bro, son, don't call my name and when you're going outside wilding, bro. You see what I'm saying? So that could be flipped, bro. That's not definitely saying that he's telling them. Come on, bro. I wish Durk told them another day. Find that flight information when you sold them another day and 10 more other days. Like, yo, bro, don't book no flights on my name, bro. Like, look, I've told these people this multiple times, bro. This ain't the only time I told them since California. Yo, Durk, please just be able to prove that. You know what I'm saying? That could be that could be good for Durk to be able to prove that, bro. Like, no, son, listen to me. This is when I went to London. This is when they went to here. I told them, don't book no flights under my names, bro. Don't book no cars under my shit. Don't do none of that, bro. I'm a superstar. I got superstar things going on. Y'all my friends. I get it. But do what y'all doing. Y'all got money, obviously. Do what y'all need to do. Don't try to use my stuff to do that. Come on, bro. So I think he could kind of slip and slide with this a little bit, bro. So I can see why Durk's lawyers are pushing so hard to get the unaliving for hire kind of unattached from his name. I can see why they're pushing for it. Because it's not really something that really ties him in tight, pause. But also, what the government is doing is keeping tight-lipped on a lot of the information that the defense needs. Like, what is the coded messages? What is the words? What was he saying? Who was he paying the money to? What was the words that was used to say that he is committing the act to hire something, to unalive something? What is that? So this is what the first motion, if you go and watch my video earlier, that's what that's all about. You know what I mean? It's all about that, and saying, like, we don't want nothing to be sprung up on us at trial. We want to be able to prepare for what you're going to do. So let us know what's the charges, what's the coded messages, what's the what, and the government is being real tight-lipped on it. So I don't know what's going to go on, but we're going to figure it out. Let's see. Six hitman OTF members and 2 individuals recruited by defendant Wilson flew across the country at the direction of defendant Banks to exact revenge on his rival after stalking an intended victim for nearly a day. The 3 hitmen opened fire at a busy gas station in Los Angeles and unalived SR. But SR's unaliving is not an isolated attempt of the defendant Banks in directing OTF violence. Okay, cool. Including that, the mafia structure, including that gang had numerous associates who aspired to become members and were willing to commit crimes on the mafia's behalf in hopes of attaining membership. Quoting an associate mantra, if the mafia has any enemies, that there are also my enemies. He is alleged to have placed additional bounties on individuals that he and other OTF members wanted to unalive. How are they going to prove that? What? Let me see. Wait. Banks embraced his penchant for bounties in his music, rapping, for example, I don't want no ninjas who you catch. I want the one I paid for. Trolling ass. We shot your homie. Gucci Mane. Rumors. This Gucci Mane Rumors featuring Little Durk. That's the name of the song. Damn, son. That's crazy, son. He said, I want the ones I paid for, son. I don't want no nigga that you catch. Let's say they got ops over there. Let's say it's a whole people that's over there is ops. Let's say we got beef with the whole 63rd. And let's say they got face cards over there, the guys that we want. You know what I'm saying? The main guys. So you go over there putting in pain, you putting in work, you done caught somebody over there. So he's saying basically in this line, bro, I don't want nobody that you just catch. I want the people that I actually want. I want the actual, like, you know what I mean? The face cards, the mellies, the people like that, actually. When they bring that up in court, that's going to be a nasty thing for Durk. That's not going to be good. Because Durk's lyrics, one thing you know about Durk lyrics, bro, dry snitching in the motherfucker.
Oh, no, you can't be serious.
You tell the whole story in the song.
Right there.
Hold up, he said, shooter, he said he got, Brody goes out with him, like, so he, with his left hand, he said, Brody got shot in his right arm, so he spit that shit with his left hand, nigga. You know what I'm saying? He said, Brody got shot in his arm, nigga, spin that shit with his left hand, nigga. I told you. So they're like, hold up, wait, who got shot in their arm as of late? Okay, who's spinning the Draco, the mini Draco, you know what I mean, in his left hand? All right, cool. So Durk is like specific, though. You know what I'm saying? If it's true, it's true. We don't know because it's lyrics. So we're not going to say people lyrics is everything because people rap about it. They see it too. All right? So we ain't going to be the one to fucking incriminate Durk. But I'm just saying, though. Durk is very specific when he talk about shit. You know what I'm saying? Just like in that line right there. He's very specific. So that's one thing that's good about his music. You know what I mean? We like his music for some of those things. You know what I mean? He talks about some stuff. He talks about the stress and the wars and all that shit like that. I like it. In yet another federal murder for hire case in Chicago involving the death of SM, Banks was also alleged to have offered money for people to unalive those responsible for his brother's unaliving, and more specifically offered to pay money for any gangster disciple that is unalived. Indeed, just 2 weeks following the unaliving of SM, the suspected leader of a faction of gangster disciples, the alleged Rders, discussed the payment from OTF and the defendant Banks. Alleged Rders texting another alleged Rder, "What's up with OTF? What do you mean? They not paying? Did Durk give you that money?" Crazy work, bruh. Yo, son. Niggas can't do nothing, bro. If you do something, son, you gotta slip and slide by yourself, bro. You gotta slip and slide by yourself, bro. Because the niggas is hungry. That bread on the way, possibility, allegedly. But why you going so hard with the breeze? Relax, homie. Relax, bro. The money's in the air, homie. So you can't do nothing with nobody, bro. Niggas will get you booked, bro. Niggas will get you booked, bro. Straight. Niggas will get you booked, bro. It's not even nice, bro. It's not even nice. Straight. I heard what Bordeaux say. Shout out daughter. Shout out Virgo. Yeah, bro. I just wanted to put some of this on the board, bro. So I'm gonna break down this case too as well, man. It's a lot of cases that I want, and then I'm covering cases in real life that I'm covering. So it's gonna be a lot. But I do want to get this case on the board because when it's going up, I want to most definitely cover this every day faithfully, and I really, really want to know every inch and detail of this paperwork because it's a lot of little tweaks in between this, and they trying to put Durk away straight. You know what I mean? Off some circumstantial evidence. Based off people saying this and saying that, based off of one message of him talking about don't put no plain records to me, and based off some people talking, based off that, you know what I mean? Just based off those things, you know what I mean? It's not based off nothing really locking them in, like phone calls really and and real specifics about the case. Is none of that, bro. And based on some of those same things is why Durk lawyer was trying to spring him off the murder for hire plot, kind of the same way how Hernandez Govan got sprung up off of that, bro, because people felt like he was tied in, right? Like, nah, son, this nigga Govan had something to do with Dolph. You know what I'm saying? Mad people felt it, bro. I felt it on my own self, son, allegedly. That's how I felt. But I'm just saying, though, when it came to the straight dropping them dudes, after they did it, they never contacted him. They contacted Juk. You know what I'm saying? They didn't contact him till I don't know when, but I don't know if they ever did. So, you know what I'm saying? So now that kind of puts circumstantial things. They probably put loopholes in there to say, if he was the one that set up all this thing, why they wasn't contacting him? You see what I'm saying? That's what his defense shot for it though, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to them. Kudos to them for even trying it. You know what I mean? You gotta try what you gotta try. He said, I got them. Wait. Banks boasts about threatening a rival, telling him, I got them. Hunting you up ads, better have 3 ski masks. He said, I got them hunting you up. I got them hunting you up, and you better have 3 ski masks on. At 12? I don't know about that part. And in a similar thread, defendant Bank and his OTF associates discussed defendant Bank's heated exchange with another rival, with defendant Banks telling his associates, I'm finna pipe it up, a common street reference to use a weapon. In response, an OTF associate agreed to follow defendant Banks' lead, exclaiming, blood, it's green, emoji of a car and a traffic light, getting it together now. No phones, referring to a green light to act on the defendant's bank's wishes of violence. Shit. The above described structure of the criminal side of OTF, defendant Banks funding the considerable wealth and the power to control he exerts over his associates, his desire to seek revenge on those who cross him and his associates, willingness to do so, what they are told, all show the need for an anonymous jury in this case. Significant risks of interfere of witnesses and the judicial process. Defendant Banks, who repeatedly shown his disdain for the judicial process and the witnesses who may cooperate with the government, it is therefore not surprising that the witness interference has already occurred and is likely to continue in this case. That's crazy that it happened already. Some witnesses have already been tampered with. So now they're using that back against you. Might not think you tampering a witness, but you probably reaching out, trying to get contact with somebody. And that's it. You just witness tampering. That's it. Now they're going to use that against you right here. Such interference weighs strongly in favor of a jury anonymity. Impaneling anonymous jurors with a defendant in a prior case persuaded minor victim not to testify and threaten the victim's family members. You see what I'm saying? Bank has made clear his contempt for cooperating witnesses on a popular podcast that's currently has one. It's probably on. I bet you is this way. DJ Academics. I bet you over 1 million views. Back and explain. I hate all rats. Yes, bro. Oh my God. You remember this. I know this is the DJ Academics one. You know that, right? I knew it. As soon as they said a podcast, bro. Nasty work, bro. Nasty work, bro. Nasty work, bro. if you ever tell, I hate you, like with a passion, that made me who I am today. That took away half of my life. MFer, telling on my pops. So I really hate rats with a real passion. Like, I hate you bad. I'm looking to the camera. I effing hate rats. That's crazy. You see how you just saying how you saying it? But when you come back like this on paper, it just seems so much harsher. You can relate and say, damn, he hate rats. What nigga done snitch on his pops? Crazy, bro. Hey, nigga, done take your time, bro. I'm saying it's regular thought he's talking about to us, right? But look how it looks on paper. It don't look nice. It doesn't look nice. Giving Banks vocal scorn for those who may cooperate, they're using this against him. Judicial process, it is predictable that suspected witnesses in this case have already been subjected to threats and intimidations. Went back to the mafia, the code of silence, obligated members to testify in court to deny its existence of the membership in the mafia. Keep referring to the mafia. Bring the gang to the mafia. But we ain't that tight like how the mafia be. Niggas is snitching. You know what I mean? Don't even try to compare niggas with the Mexican mafia. Anyway, one of the defendants' group's tenets was to unalive or attempt to unalive members suspected of informing authorities. To start, one of Banks' trusted OTF associates has already threatened a suspected government witness. Wow. Specifically, the OTF associate told the witness's family member that the suspected witness was a snitch, a snake, and was not for the family. Ooh. An indicted reference to Banks only the family. Ooh. This right here make it sound like some mafia amorta, not for the family. Like he one of ours or he one of yours. You know how they talk to the mafia? I don't like how they putting this right here. But if he said this, most likely, then that makes it seem kind of like mafia-like. Even though it is regular street people, street gang type shit. Street, it says such threats to witness, even when committed by the defendant's associates, are precisely the type of conduct that justify enhanced juror safety and procedures to ensure the jury can fulfill its duties without improper outside influence. Upholding the use of anonymous jury when defendant was the leader of a motorcycle gang with the history of violence and witness intimidation. Same where defendants had sought to bribe and threaten witnesses and had attempted to influence a witness in a prior state case. Witness intimidation case. We're going into the blackouts. We're going to the blackouts. Okay, cool. Defendant's bank is also shown a repeated disrespect for the willingness to impede the judicial process, despite admonishments from two courts about phone violations at Los Angeles MDC. Defendant Bank has escalated his defiance of BOP rules that keep witnesses and others safe. In late August 2025, BOP officials seized an Apple Watch with cellular capability from Durk. Crazy. Even more troubling is Banks' conduct after he was caught. Rather than accept responsibility for this violation, the defendant allegedly obstructed the investigation, attempted to damage or then destroy the communications device, probably throwing it into all of this shit. It's crazy to break it up. I don't know what the fuck he's trying to do. Damn, son. You Durk, bro. You know you can't be with the. You know they coming to spin your bin, bro. They coming to spin your cell, son. They're coming through your cell, bro. You're Durk. You got money, bro. So they know you're going to have things. If not outright contempt for the process by which the charges against him will be resolved, surely strengthens the case for impaneling an anonymous jury where the defendant refused to permit officials to execute DNA warrant and exchange inappropriate courtroom behavior. Now, the defendant's interference with the judicial process, including destroying his cell phone to prevent recovery of evidence, weighed in favor of an anonymous jury. Defendant's bank floating the rules and is in all the more concerning here, given the previous judicial admonishments and the nature of the latest offense, possession and destruction of a device that could be used to have unmonitored communications with witnesses or those who may intimidate witnesses or take steps to alter their testimony. Indeed, although the government continues to investigate Banks' possession and use of the communications device, initial data associated with the serial number of the watch shows that the device was purchased on May 26, 2025, and was activated the next day. Crazy, Durkio. Potential that the defendants will suffer a lengthy incarceration if convicted, as all the defendants face a mandatory life sentence should they be convicted of 18 USC 1958. The potential that the defendants will suffer a lengthy incarceration if convicted clearly weighs in favor of an anonymous jury. Potential mandatory life sentence surely provided a strong inducement to resort to extreme measures in any effort to influence the outcome of the trial. The extensive and continuous national publicity in this case further required juror anonymity. Finally, the likelihood of extensive publicity and the risk that jurors' names will become public is substantial here. Indeed, in Chirac, or whatever the fuck these people's name is, the mere possibility of media attention was sufficient for the Ninth Circuit to find that this factor was met. The trial could expect to receive extensive publicity. This case has attracted significant media attention since the defendants were arrested, and the coverage will unquestionably increase as the trial date approaches. National news extensively covered each step of the case, including the defendant's arrest, the defendant bank's detention hearings, and even routine and mundane filings like the latest stipulation to continue the trial. The case has also received substantial attention on social media, including in-depth analysis of the case by legal channels. Defendants Banks has also chosen to further publicize the case by having defense counsel participate in interviews and by using defendant Banks' social media account with over 15 million followers to falsify the claim that the government is using this unalive case to criminalize them. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. I don't know, man. Is Durk going free? What's going on? What's going on? I had to just read that to y'all. I was just going to do a read and an upload. Okay? Hopefully you drop likes. If you're not, you're a hater. Gawk 19,000 for you. You can gawk for the rest of your life if you didn't drop a like. I don't really care for the scripts. I don't care, son. Don't care, son. Don't care. So just know this. Just know this, bro. I'm really cool and funny and I laugh a lot, but I don't really care. Hope you know it. So look, shout out to everybody that's really showing love. Shout out to real people that believe in Jesus and God. If you don't, shout out to y'all. Okay. Drop sevens at any one of my chats. I appreciate y'all and I'll be right back. You already know the vibe, man. Uda. 3 times. Candyman. Always on go.
All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas turn shooters. On the internet, you ain't been this right. All my niggas turn shooters. All my ops turn racks. All my niggas from the Uda. All my niggas turn shooters.